needs to become a star for Sprout in this map?
I probably want to keep a little bit more iron on for Farfan. Dust2 is normally a map where he gets really, really involved, especially on the T side. And for Maluki, at least he's going quite aggressive on CT, but a little bit of an early contact out towards the upper tunnels. The bomb and a teammate just outside along, though.
3 players here against Pesadelo, and if he can get this kill, that will start things off fantastically. First bullet fired and just straight up the shot. Shut down Dennis and open up the round here in the tunnel play.
It all comes down to just not giving away that opening advantage. Spiidi just trying to lurk out towards the B side, see if he can just force some rotates.
Blocks faced in, Spiidi does get PRT to drop, so back to a 4 versus 4. He's still sticking around close towards the end of the smoke, but Pesadelo comes up with the pick back of his own right. So man advantage gain. Kressy drops down to a 2-man advantage for TeamOne. XNS credited with that kill. Mob's still in the back though, tapping heads as XNS steals that second man from him and gets the pistol for TeamOne.
Well. Okay then. So for Sprout, it just kind of comes down to, first of all, they lose that opening pick, and then we see the little bit of alert play for Spiidi. Just trying to see if he can scramble the city side a little bit, see if he can find some impact out to the B side. But for TeamOne, no one was moving off of A.
No, they weren't, and that just really made the whole difference there, because Sprout thought there was so much presence towards the B side. They thought that with that simple sort of decimation play, they can make their move in. Didn't quite work out like that though. And again, TeamOne, solid start here on the CT half. Sprout, of course, on the force buy as you would expect. Actually, more half buy actually. Again, sort of like these similar sort of upgrade pistols with the Scout Hero from slaxz. Dennis will be the first man to fall to Mobs, though the SMG immediately opens up and almost doubles up.
Well, remember what happened on Nuke when they went for a similar buy to this? They got away with 3 kills on the T side, just with a Scout and a single Deagles, but you've got to wonder, it may have happened once, is it going to happen a second time?
Frag found on Dennis initially, kicks things off on the right foot. Slow walks in for the T side, the Scout on Scout action here on short, and Maluki is watching, ready to receive it. Not quite on for the headshot, so slaxz's drive-by can go really well for him. Mobs trades one back out towards the longhouse, so they will maintain the man advantage, but they do lose the site itself.
Just get the bomb down, out to the short position, give that extra little bit of cash injection, and see what more slaxz can find.
Watching in the back, looking up, seeing his man XNS with the kill. Scout shot connects to the shoulder, not quite a kill enough for the likes of slaxz. Kressy's fallen, and so is Farfan and slaxz quickly off the jump face. 2 SMGs cleaning house, and a second round for TeamOne.
I think Sprout could be happy with that. Get away with 1 kill, not a massive amount, but it's that extra little bit of cash injection. It does mean that that slaxz is going to be slightly limited going into the next round, but for everyone else, it's going to be very, very comfortable for them. And for TeamOne, how much of a bonus round are they going to be able to bring forward? Try and see if they can get that Scout back over towards Maluki, get him firing up. Mounds is going to invest into an M4, though.
Yeah, rifles to be gained here. Sprout's bomb plant bonus is going to help them out immensely, of course, with the Hero Scout buy. Pass of an AWP instead, and slaxz will take the honor of the big green. Going in for the initial pick towards long. He's got a good long spawn for it. I think he'll just about beat the CTs there as well. Can he get the frag for his own trouble, though? They're going to wait back. Flashbang's involved. Re-smoke down. They're not going to go aggressive here. They're going to wait for utility to come to fruition. The PRT's not going to wait at all. Just pushing through the lower tunnels, getting Dennis and Farfan in the drop.
Oh, what a start. Even Moubs, he's starting to make an aggressive move. The timing could be everything if he starts clearing out this longhouse. Maluki does do damage onto the AWP now.
32 for slaxz. At this point, he's within the scouting territory. Reface, man seen, but doesn't react towards it for Maluki, so slaxz can get a response in, but still an advantage for TeamOne here. Sprout have not found the return.
And this backstab has got so many chances to start to come through. It all just comes down to a matter of timing and a matter of confidence. If Moubs wants to make that overly aggressive play, Sprout just slowing the round down now.
Slowly and carefully making their way back through the lower tunnels where PRT was able to find the advantage initially in the SMG. AK, of course, in his hands alongside Pesadelo.
Oh, here comes Moubs. Look at the info he's getting.
Yeah, he knows that they're not in mid anymore. The incendiary down towards short. That's the question. Are they in tunnels or are they in short?
Well, he's going to be able to clear out this short position. PRT is going to be the main defender out from the B side. And Moubs, he's going to just tell him, we need to get over to B now.
Here they come. 3 players walk in. No util inbound just yet. Flashbang involved for PRT. He's going to try to suppress them as the Molotovs finally come in. Second player's outside of the doorways. Kressy spotted as PRT burns. Pesadelo swings up very quickly. Gets his kill to drop the bomb. And it's all on Kressy in a 1 versus 3 scenario. Not going to happen for him. 3-0 start for 1.
It was a very good rotation. As soon as Moubs clears out the majority of that short position, Pesadelo just starts rotating up from mid, assisting out to the B side, and even they throw the util before they kind of know, yeah, you've got the information, you've cleared out long, you've cleared out short. but the flashes start coming before the T side have even come out of the upper tunnels, and it just sets themselves up. PRT gets away with a couple of kills, then Pesadillo out on that rotation too, ends up with a massive amount of damage, and for TeamOne, you'd have to say, this is the perfect start.
It really is. I mean, Sprout are forced to take a tactical so early in this one. On their map pick, on their T-side start, I might add, by the way. Like, this is really, really going well for them. TeamOne and not letting them get away with anything at all. And we know that TeamOne, they have a much better T-side compared to their CT half. So if they can continue to make this a good half for them, then this could end up being a 2-0 for the Brazilians.
Oh.
And who would have thought that coming into this game? I know that you hate it when I call a series early, but look, at the end of the day, it's a possibility.
Yep, 3 rounds in, yep, 2-0. Nah, when you look at it, the start could be everything. You're right about that. With the T-side presence we know that TeamOne have, it all comes down to gathering that early momentum, and for Sprout, trying to just see if they could do a little bit of economical damage, upgrading a few pistols here or there, get some util out across the board, some Kevlar too, and might just be going for a bit of a lean into the B side.
All 5 players out here. PRT as he takes face with the AUG, bursting fire. Not catching anything at all. Teammates also on the boost spot. Pesadillo then to receive. AUG spray fine. He comes up with Kressy. Looks for the second man of Farv and drops him as well with the bomb involved. 3K not quite possible, but the AK's here to clean house with a simple spray. Doesn't make it his 3 of his own, right? But 1v3 for Spiidi, and I don't think there's anything more that can come out for him. Let's make it a triple, actually. Bomb's been dropped on the site, though. He's got to re-aggress.
It's going to be a difficult round to clutch. Flash come through again, a little bit off time, not quite actually popping out and towards the upper tunnels itself, but both players playing together, looking to charge out for the window position, and Spiidi doesn't get away with any more than that. TeamOne, it gets up to 4, but maybe that's a little bit still shaky there when you think about the investment that comes in.
Still 4 in a row for them, though, so overall things are still looking confident. Rebuy back for Sprout, of course, up in for slaxz once again. AK is across the board. I think they're going to go looking towards this long challenge. I think slaxz has once again got a... Actually, excuse me, he's the middle player, so he hasn't got a good spawn for the long challenge. The rest on the hands of Dennis, I believe. So, set towards mid to look down range, and the AK will try for a peek in against the likes of Maluki, who's set with his own orb. Flashed out beyond belief. 3 flashes popping over there, but can't capitalize on the kill here, Sprout.
They just don't swing. They don't really over-aggress at all. It allows Maluki to just get back towards safety. Oh, Mabs, he's doing it again with a teammate.
2 players pushing. Pesadillo finally gets tagged up a little bit. But they've evaded T-side member. slaxz is in a lot of trouble. They have no idea about this. No one's even watching from the house. They've got a bomb control as well. So much has been gained by this aggressive play. And finally, slaxz start looking. No, he keeps his eyes on mid.
Oh, how does this work out? They still don't know.
Oh, guys, please. Please, slaxz. Please just swing. I beg you.
Even if he does, he might just have his knife out. He might not be ready for this at all, but he does hit the shot. Does he know about the other CT?
No, he doesn't. XNS with a swing on towards 1 fry. Cannot make it a second. Spiidi able to respond effective. And now the advantage swings in favor of Sprout. A massive, massive aggressive play, though. That could have easily worked for TeamOne. Maluki close with the AWP here. Missed the sight, Dennis. Just going to try and hold the line to make sure that the bomb can cross safely. A resmoke will come down to ensure that the smokes do not fade while they push that bomb over there. Farb will pick it up. Should get the block.
Putting the incendiary down towards the side, just trying to slow it down. Maluki just working on the edge of the smoke.
Another incendiary from him as well. Trying to suppress for as long as possible, but they've used all their fire. It's just 2 smokes, a flash, and a HE. They're down to 11. Renade on the site. Does swing, just stays alive for a little bit longer, but does force a TK, so still a man advantage here for Sprout, but 3-on-2 retake up for the orbs here. Maluki going for the Kelly, but doesn't end up working for him. Still looks up, gets his shot in. Dennis to fall, 2v2 in the midst of the smoke. He waits around. Kressy is also close towards him. They'll boost up, look to sight. Scope in, gonna try to draw them ahead of themselves. They're actually on the bomb. This could be massive. PRT gets Kressy. They're just gonna stick it, but he's gonna go for the wall bangs. He's landing leg shots. He's not even getting the kill. Oh, Sprout, that setup was not for the bomb. And it's for the round for TeamOne.
Okay, so we get into a very odd situation there for Sprout because it's so slow for them gaining the side control. They can't exactly plant open for long because they don't have the short control. They don't have any eyes down towards CT, so you want to plant safe. Just get that bomb down, but the majority of players are trying to fight out from that long position. And for Maluki, as soon as he sees that bomb is not planted for long, he goes, right, I'm just going to stick it instantly. And PLT, he just runs the distraction.
Got the kills on the distraction as well, so a bit more of just a distraction player in that context. Sprout forced to take their second tactical timeout. We're only 5 rounds deep here, Dwayne. 2 of them have been burned by the Germans. And they're just not getting started here on Dust2.
And think back to that interview we saw a little bit earlier into the show with Enk and Jay sort of saying how their goal's to make group stage. Their goal is that sort of when it comes to this stage of the tournament, they should be moving forward. And while it is nice to see that confidence and to see that their goals are being quite realistic about them being pushed forward, this is still a lower bracket round 1 game. And on their map pick, it has been a slow start.
Talk about Sprout having their homework done on Nuke, or TeamOne having their homework done here on Dust2, and they are dealing with every T-side presence faced, but finally slaxz and Farvin catch a break, get those kills in on Pesadillo and Molbs. 1 player now left towards the A site. It's all Maluki out in the open. Can't really do much here, though. He's got to fall back. He's got to pick and choose where he looks towards, long or short.
They're desperate for a bit of a pick backwards in, an aggressive play just through the smoke, but Dennis is just waiting for that. Just disciplined play there for Sprout. As soon as they maintain the 5v3, slow it down, forcing the mistake.
And this round's probably done here. Like, Maluki's just got to hold on or focus on holding on to the big green. Might catch off an exit here towards Longhouse. They are escaping the long entrance entirely. Or battle for PRT, trying to face in towards Suicide to steal the 1 man. And Maluki's also engaged here, 78 points of health. Back turn towards kressy, who catches off the frag. Now PRT's just got to hold on.
What a return to come out for Sprout. They take the tactical timeout, and then they win out a rifle round with even not taking a single lick of damage. And PRT's got no option but to save, and the difficult factor here for TeamOne is, yeah, it's 5 rounds in a row. Yeah, it's a 5-0 lead, but where's the money? The reserve, it's just not there.
Yeah, not a lot available. Damage was done by Sprout in those last couple of rounds, and even though they were lost by the Sprout side, the reset is now set for TeamOne. Breaking the 5-round streak, the Sprout had given up to the Brazilians, I should say. At long last, they have one of their own. Can it turn into a decent T-side from here?
Hey, you've got to wonder. I mean, TeamOne probably force it down here. Double eco status. Pesadillo and Malbs have got no money whatsoever. Maluki can glass cannon AWP himself. Where do the rifles start getting chucked around from? It's all about the start, all about finding the conversions, and we are seeing some players here from Sprout very low on some of the kill counts. Kressy on 1, Dennis on 1, Farfan on 1. Spiidi has been the impact player so far.
Indeed he has, and we're talking about stars for Sprout side a moment ago. He's become one at this moment. Still a little bit lower than some of the higher players for the likes of TeamOne, but Farvin now. Second kill involved in the game. Finds Molbs. AWP is slaxz ready for the next player to face up. The Eagle will take contact, and Farvin will get his double up. CTs are forced to back away here. They can't concede much more than this, and while Maluki could be giving up another frag regardless, they haven't checked corner. Dennis, awkward spray, but comes up good regardless.
TeamOne just putting a fair bit of influence, aggressive out towards that long position, just trying to see if they can bait the AWPer, but unfortunately the crossfire is just getting set. Farfan's able to get away with a couple of kills. The aggression even gets punished out from the upper tunnels. PRT might be able to deal with the 1 mid player as Spiidi, but that's only 1 kill.
Pesadillo so far out of position here was the A site. PRT trying to get into position, hold off on the defense, but it might have been better to go for the retake. I mean, even then, 4 versus 2, probably best to save from the word go. And there we are, Sprout taking their time to find their confidence, but now it's most certainly been found here.
Yeah, it took a little time, but now with 2 in a row, you've got to wonder what TeamOne have got to offer. Well, certainly nothing when it comes to the economy stake, considering that was a forced in the last round. 2,400 loss bonus now, so just take it nice and light. And PRT should be able to invest into one of those AWPs in the next round, chuck that back over to Maluki if they like. And now this is probably going to start turning into a bit of a contest here in map 2.
USP's out for TeamOne. Oh, good shot from slaxz. Next damage onto XNS, but doesn't quite get the kill against him. Pesadillo's also connected to from the mid control, so the AWPer just cleans house again. Simple stuff into the mid position, and Spiidi walks out towards the B site, sees one. Gets him to fall back here, so the dinks will come through for the USP. So there's a bit more damage than they might have been expecting, but outside of that, the round's going the way of the T side.
Yeah, bit of a whack-a-mole situation going on in here in mid, but yeah, get there in the end. Can't really expect Malbs to do all too much in that kind of range, and well, they're just filtering up to the AWPer now. Kressy being able to deal with the last player. And is it just me, or does Kressy not look like Enk and Jay? I swear they're the same person.
I don't know. Like,
you don't know? Oh, mate, if they're next to one another, I'm telling you.
I think if they're next to each other, you can spot the differences. But 3 rounds up. Sprout currently in within 2 of TeamOne's lead. The early lead now can be contested with the AWPs in for Maluki once again. That was an eco in the previous, so the full guns out. Limited utility sets. The AK in for Spiidi is going to take first contact here towards the longhouse face, but it gets smoked away instead by the CT side.
A lot of util out towards that long position, and Spiidi's not really that interested. Flash forward, actually, maybe he is. Oh, that's risky. He's got no support there.
Yeah, a risk that doesn't pay off. Maybe if kressy was there to support it and trying to get a trade frag or do something, but even then, in the midst of the smoke, how likely is that going to be? You might lose 2 players. Very, very awkward stuff. A bit reckless there from Spiidi's part.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. And for Sprout, you're now in a position where you're on the back foot. You've got to try and see if you can chime back in that 4v5. TeamOne, they've got complete control of long. They're now going to rotate players back over towards that car position. Short is very opened up, though. No aggression here.
Flash forward just in case. Keeping their eyes on Farvin. Take away Dennis. Smoke in hand as well. All sorts of util thrown out there too. The short position Maluki. Orb's going to rotate away and try and hold a bit more of a passive angle on that short presence. Leave it all towards Mobs to hold down the longhouse because they are aggressive from there on a split play as well. Mobs gets his kill on kressy. Orb shot missing. A bit diagonal when it's the transfer. Sees the second man as well. The bomb now across towards the site. 2-man advantage for TeamOne here, but Sprout, I should say, have the bomb plant itself, and slaxz is forced away.
That's a crucial miss shot, and now the capitalization comes through. Dennis has now got to try and win a 1v5.
Bomb is open for him, but I think he wants nothing to do with this post-blood. TeamOne will reinstate themselves back in the lead at 6-3. And PRC will clean up the last man and find a similarly confident round there. All 5 players alive for TeamOne.
Yeah, I look at that one and I think, geez, that doesn't look too good for the Germans at all. We saw the early sort of shaky contact, the high-risk play out for Spiidi, and Malbs just continue to follow up, a little bit of an off angle out from that pit position. But then even that really late lurk from slaxz, if you can find a bit of a position in which they don't know that you're there and you try and run the clock, hope to sort of open up the bomb side, you can catch them sleeping, and that kind of happened, but there was no capitalization, there was no shot that came in. Instead, it just got missed.
Sprout now running the reinvestment round from these guys. They've got a bit of money available for them, so it's not the worst situation in the world. Their confident rounds have come in pretty nice and efficiently. So TeamOne on the back foot in terms of that part of the game. But again, reinstating the 3-round lead, trying to extend it even further. They can get Sprout in another good round here, then this could still be pretty good here for the Brazilians.
And Maluki's going a little bit more aggressive this time with the AWP up towards the short position, trying to see if he can find a bit more of an early contact. I wonder how he gets flashed off angle, or they use that utility, try and force him back deeper in towards the side. TeamOne haven't even been able to really get a contact as of yet.
Flash over. Maluki drops down from the short position. Counter nade involved towards the AWP's position. Does land pretty nicely, but 68 points of health on slaxz. He's still above the 50 marker. HP advantage still for Team1. The flash forward for Dennis will get the man advantage, or at least attempt to do so, but no. X and S there to trade.
Jeez, how does that happen? He's completely blind in the situation, but Maluki's being pressured.
All held out towards long, still looking for contact. Great timing on the flash. Spiidi crossed before Maluki even registered it, so back to a 4v4 we go. Pesadello very quickly on towards Ramp, however, finds his response, trades it back. Advantage maintained for Team1. Bomb plant trying to be attempted here. Nade towards the man's position, and slaxz will clean up the kill. Meanwhile, Mole's making his way in from long. 2 more CTs down from the spawn. The bomb's yet to be planted. Finally, it does come through for them, and Sprout start to set themselves up in the post plant. Taps forward. Mole's gets his headshot. Orc back. Flick not connecting. All left towards kressy now. Flash in hand. Only 1 piece of util. They're sticking the whole 5 seconds, though. He's got to swing right now. All sorts of CTs out on the site, and he's blind himself. It gives Team1 the time that they need to get 7.
Oh my goodness, this is really impressive for the Brazilians here on Dust2. This is a bit of a pleasant surprise, because we know that in the best of 1 they played yesterday, they got absolutely decimated by OG. They couldn't play their own game at all. They never got economy rolling. And it's even duels like that you wonder to yourself, how does that happen? Perfect flash in from mid, and Exodus still gets the kill.
Now, some situations as well for the Sprout side where you look at it and think it's a little bit sloppy, like just that last man in the 1 versus 3 trying to flash forward in towards the A site. Still flashed himself there and ultimately gave up the kill out the round. Farvin taking the kill away from Maluki at the very least, so Sprout with a bit more of a confident start here in round 11. Orbiter 4 Molotov against Molbs, actually swings back for a 2K. How's he done that?
Oh, they're clearing up. They're making a bit of an aggressive move. Spiidi, does he hear the footsteps? At least he catches off the first. He knows about the second player, but he can't quite find him.
And again, Team1 losing the advantage, but finding responses. They are aware of Farven at least. Are they aware of Kressy as well? I mean, they should be, considering how much long control they've gotten. And now with the mid phase coming in from PRT, it's got to be deduced that they're going towards the A site. There is a gap in that smoke. A re-smoke comes down, so now they should have the info. Now they should know. Both smokes going to come from the one angle where both T-side players are at. Bomb should go down.
There's a fair bit of counter utility for the CTs to work with. They're going to boost up.
PRT sees the angle, gets Kressy all left to Farven now. 1 versus 2 behind the rice bags. Continuing to look towards the short boxes, sees his man on the jump face. That's information game for Team1. Sees PRT, but peeks away in a hard cover before he can get his chance at the kill, and PRT will find the trade on XNS's fall for 8 to the board of Team1. They just won the CT half.
Yeah, and even in that situation, that's probably one of the weakest starts to the round we've seen this entire CT side. They lose that opening pick out from long, they're in a 4v5 situation, and they're just trying to make an info play. They aggress up from the upper tunnels. Malbs, I don't know how he gets away with 2 here. It maybe isn't the round winner, but it sets up the round with a possibility of being won from that play.
Absolutely. And it almost feels like a stray bullet that just straight off to the left and got that second headshot. So I'm so stunned that he got that. Sprout are stunned as well. They have had a really rough time in this first half of their map pick. A 3rd tactical timeout coming in for them. It's not looking good at the moment. Like, what do they have to do to turn this around?
It all just comes to maybe trying to minimize the complacency, because we're seeing a lot of these rounds in which they are getting opening man advantages, but they're just making a lot of mistakes. We're seeing a lot of over-peaking coming through some of these duels that aren't necessarily needed to be taken. Just try and get some confidence back, and they've got to try and stabilize at least a way in which they can follow up rounds out towards long. They're getting flashed so heavy. XNS dealing with the first player, looking to get a little bit more, and he's even got support. Malbs is going to fall. More flashes come through. He's trying to get back to safety.
XNS still has 74 points of HP as well, so he's still got presence to hold back here. AWP gets caught by Kressy, though. The end of the smoke is back to a 3-on-3 scenario. Pesadelo now boosted up towards the A site. But they're not going to find much with this here. The long control is being gained by Sprout, even if they are a bit passive towards it. Team1 aren't going to re-aggress to their own right, and they're going to rotate away from the longhouse instead.
That's a little bit frustrating for XNS, sort of seeing how that situation goes down. He finds a lot of impact out from long. They're trying to fall back. They're trying to hold on to the 4-on-3, and Maluki just gets wide swung onto that car position from kressy.
I think we might have lost a player there on the Team1 side. Or was that on Sprout's side? I can't quite tell. Either way, yeah, okay, we have lost a player for Sprout, so I imagine there's going to be it doesn't affect the 3 versus 3 scenario, so there should be a tech pause after this unless he doesn't rejoin in the time, but for now, Sprout focusing into the upper tunnels where the B site is being contested by XNS and PRT.
He's been very rock solid so far on the CT side, but probably needs at least a couple if they want to make this possible, because rotations are going to be slow.
Molotov's in. Here comes Kressy to wrap the corner. 1 player involved. PRT gets his kill involved in this one. Continues looking up to face here. Can't see what's going on. Incendiary's outsprayed through. Awkward as hell. And he goes to hell as Farven finds his frag. CTs are still so close to the B doors, however. Bomb plant will be heard. Will they flash forward a bit? No, they'll dry face, and that will cost them big time as Farven gets his triple in the end and Sprout win the 4th.
A bit of a whiff there, unfortunately, for PRT out for window. The perfect opportunity to be able to isolate that second player, but just doesn't quite come through. And for Sprout, these rounds that they're winning, they've really had to fight for them. They've had to try and recover them, get them over the line. Eventually, they have been slowly but surely destroying the economy of Team1. So even going into round 13, it's more so a force buy than a rifle round out of anything.
Deagle's in, AUG out for Marston for XNS as well. slaxz sees what's going on. Early contact. Incendiary against the position. Faces forward, sees the man, gets Pesadelo immediately. Cannot get PRT though. 22 points of health, now down to 1, now down to none. And Sprout have the beast under their control. Kressy just holding out for bulbs. Deals at him next up. 2 left standing for the CT side.
Yeah, much better. Much better there for the Germans. A little bit more pacey to the rounds and just exploiting the over-peaking from the CTs out on that B side. XNS even thinking that he needs to take a little bit of a more duel just to get away with something in the round, but the best that they can hope for is just saving onto these rifles.
Jump face from XNS. Sees kressy at least. Might lose for Master the Man, however. I imagine this probably should be a pretty easy cleanup for like kressy. The spray through with the wall bangs. Eventually comes forward for the man. Multikill on 74 and 48 and nothing. Dennis finds that kill. And Sprouts now have contention again, but they're still yet to gain an equal standing, and they can't do it in this half at the very least. Look back to how things worked out over on Nuke, where TeamOne had the early advantage at the turn of the half. Sprout was still able to bring it back to 8-7 though, but is that going to be enough for them?
Yeah, it's workable. It really is, but you've got to keep the rounds confident right up towards round 15 and going into that second half. slaxz, at least just spotting that early contact, just relaying over the information to his teammates at 2 crossed out from mid.
Minute and 40 and nades up. Spray through. Great catch from Dennis. Dealing with PRT effectively. ESP's of course out. Farben does get caught on a dink down. kressy also has been seen, but kressy gets get involved. Farben swings up on the second man. And yeah, going about as well as they. Ecos do go here for TeamOne. Pesadelo 1 versus 5. And they can go wherever they want here. Sprout, they know exactly where the last man is. kressy will secure their kill. One final buy for the CTs into round 15.
Probably not the way that this series was expected to go down. A lot of people probably would have thought that Sprout were going to be leading for the front. But really, when we have a look at both map 1 and map 2, it's almost been Sprout trying to recover a lot of the situations and grind back to a lead rather than being the team sort of in that forward momentum.
Oh, Sniper's out here for Sprout to connect the kill on Pesadelo. Okay, well, kressy finds the headshot. That's something. Gain AWP going to look for his own sniper kill on Farben, but misses the cross to the one man at a very tight angle to hit there. CTs will aggress as a result of this. They know that they forced them back. It's in the area up very, very early here for TeamOne, and Sprout hold back passive to maintain the advantage.
And really, that is such a great pick to be able to win out. Oh, actually, Maluki just starting to hold down, not really losing a massive amount of damage. Down to 37. kressy gets the return quickly, and slaxz even hits the wall bang.
2 less standing now for TeamOne. I think Sprout found what they needed. Took a while and they missed out on a lot of rounds because of it, but backstabbing from PRT. If they can be suppressed here towards mid, then that would work out. The nade might be something to do with it here for XNS. Nicely lands on 2 players, but now the long flank involved as well from kressy, and XNS has got to focus on that. He's going to have to leave it to his teammate, but too early on the swing. kressy gets the kill. PRT 1v4 to clutch.
Just hoping for really any sort of overly aggressive peaks. Sprout though, 4 versus 1, bomb down up on the A side. PRT just trying to see if he can get away with something. Nice little tap there coming on to kressy. And just jiggle picking out to the long position, but that's going to be it. TeamOne with 8. Sprout, though, get to 7 at the half.
Yeah, crispy shots at the end of the day, but as you mentioned before, TeamOne have the advantage going into their T side after the break. TeamOne continue to impress against Sprout, who are down on their map pick of Dust2. And, well, I mean, again, the 2-0 is possible, but it looks a little bit less likely given how close this one has been brought back by the German side. So let's see whether the CT side can start to decimate what TeamOne are bringing to the table. Pistol round with Glocks and P250s. Fast play and aggressive play up from Sprout. Going to catch one player off guard. They struggle to deal with Pesadelo, but they get that kill involved. And now they work in towards long. A sandwich involved. slaxz bearing down upon them from the back of Goose. Will look to see T-side presence across the entire board. And the wraparound's not going to come through entirely here for the Sprout camp. They do overwhelm the site defensive as Mobs gets 2 fantastic kills. And A is there for the taking.
Dennis has answered back out for the short position. Malb still alive and trying to kick back even further. The Glock's still trying to come in. Bit of a playoff for City Spawn and TeamOne. Well, it really seemed like with that aggressive mid play that they were going to be forced forward into that long position, even down by 1. Malbs was the guy to bring it back into an even playing field, and then the Glocks just start overpowering.
And Sprout just weren't able to set up a backstab, I think. I think that they'd done so rather than forcing forward in towards the mid control and getting back into the A side to support the defensive line overall. And that probably would have been a bit of a better stance, but Mobs, massive kills for him there on the offensive hold. And TeamOne didn't even need that bomb plant. They've got the pistol and they've got the headshot on slaxz.
Oh yeah, that's it, Maluki. We're going to get another one, mate? Another mid pick? Anyone feeling gutsy enough there for the Sprout side? Well, at least they recover that scout, get it back over to Dennis, but what a start again for TeamOne.
Fantastic involved. Scout does turn a bit of tag damage back to the T-side line for Dennis at least, so there's that, but they have mid control entirely here, TeamOne. Sprout can't do much against it, just flashed out of position. Falls further away.
Dennis is so desperate for just anything, some sort of pit back in. They keep flashing him, keep trying to force him off angle. Does get away with one, but can he fall back, escape towards the side? PRT doesn't really swing. Spiidi just runs down with the deagle.
Diving in, getting a kill involved. PRT's there for a trade frag, but they still got CT presence pushed up here at long. Kressy hoping for his way back here. Noise being made. The deagle right at the corner. When does he swing? Right about now. Takes his fight, wins it. Sees the second man as well. Flashbang involved. XS is really close to the deagle. Barely gets dealt with. Scout in from Maluki trying to land a headshot as his teammate falls as a 1 versus 1. Low HP for the man. He can't land his shot. P250 out. Scout pushed out towards. And finally, he gets his 3K in to just hold the round there for TeamOne. What a stressful effort from the T side, though.
Come on, Luke, you give us a little bit more than a smile there, mate. You see that clutch coming through. We saw a couple of big sequences from him on T side of Nuke with the AWP in play, but that one with the Scout means that they do not get reset, means that they can follow up the conversion, and for Sprout, they've got no option but to eco.
Yeah, just the pistols, the USPs, the deagles in as standard. Maluki straight back in with the Scout in hand. Focusing entirely towards that mid, controls the rest of the T-side player. Just go straight into the B side. No resistance whatsoever here from Sprout. They went for a bit of a mid stack. They might isolate the Scout player, but that's about it.
Yeah, TeamOne, Maluki getting eyes down and, well, got to be careful about how many players he actually spots out. Would be great to see if he could find a multitude of frags, but he could get over them pretty quickly.
Good shot on Dennis, flash over. Not even going to be taken here. Teammate comes in to support it. They do get PRT. XNS there with a responsive frag. Scout seeing what's going on, but getting gooshed down here by these pistols. They are doing a pretty decent amount of HP damage. They do drop in towards Maluki, but Spiidi and slaxz and kressy clean up very easy with the MAC-10s and the Glocks. Grab those main rifles. Try to keep them in. 11-7, TeamOne. Extend their lead and Sprout have the bye.
Yeah, get those rifles back in. slaxz on the AWP. And, well, for Maluki, he was quite quiet over in that first half of Dust2. I think he had maybe 2-3 kills at the end of the half, but ever since really coming in towards the second, we've seen the way in which he's been able to follow up, now being able to offer the big green. Very, very heavy stack out towards that CT position out of the long to start off from Sprout.
Sprays through Molotovs. Involved in their own right. AWP in for slaxz. Finds Maluki, kicks things off. PRT's got the AWP pick right back up here, looking towards that mid-control. 2 more shots ring out, neither of them connect. Dennis might be flashed forward here. Farmer's going to be the only player on the defensive. He's going to be in conversion upon by 3 different angles. PRT caught off. Bombs also drops. Farman gets sprayed towards XNS. Tries to hold a spray transfer. Tags Spiidi, but doesn't get away with the kills with Pesadello up to clutch.
Just hoping to do as much damage in this position as possible. Doesn't have nades to work with, but get the bomb down.
Back behind the big boxes, looking into the tunnels. There's a CT on rotation towards that entrance. It's kressy trying to support the main 2 players that will come in from CT. The AWP on slaxz. A bit more of a difficult weapon for him. He's hoping that someone crosses towards the B doors. Smoke suppressed. He'll look back in from those doors. Sees slaxz. Thought good spray. Tags him to 38. Sees kressy. He's on towards that spray now. Reloads it. He's stalling for time. He's drawing them out in the open. Almost gets the kill on Spiidi. Is he stalled for enough time though? It'll be close to the defuse. I think Spidi's got it. Just holding the 8th round there for the CT side, but imagine that quadra coming in from Pesadello.
It's still expensive. It's still really, really expensive there for the Sprout side. Like, they get a very big round getting that clutch together, but even with the buyback, you are going to see limitations. Pesadello, I love the way that he tries to isolate some of those duels, take that early contact out from the upper tunnels, and just continue doing as much as he can, just taking more and more CTs down with him. So damn close to being able to win out that 1v3, but not to be. SMG up for kressy, M4 down for Spiidi. Dennis and Farfan still yet to buy, but might see for Masters for those 2.
Tactical pause called in for TeamOne, so they can mull over that decision a little bit. Very nice hold there from the last player of Sprout. I'm looking at that whole scenario thinking to myself, like, man, if only one more bullet had connected from Pesadello. They're going to be a little bit heartbroken at how close that got. I'm not sure if they're fully aware of the numbers involved, but be aware of the Sprout side again. Mounting up and holding face. AWP of Maluki almost hit that shot through the smoke. It looked on to me, but 2 AKs, 2 Deagles out for TeamOne. They've also got a pretty broken buy of their own right, but the Deagles can strike. PRT opens up.
A good flash comes in. Kressy just can't see anything. Double tap, straight to the head. Dennis, oh, he's making an aggressive play. There's a Deagle on the other side. This could be a 5-on-3. He knows better of it. Doesn't continue to aggress.
And flashbangs will try and force him back. Orbs leans in as well to the lower tunnel's position. It's mid control and short presence also want to get gained here for TeamOne. Minute and 10 though. It's very quiet. I mean, there's not really much contact being taken by Sprout here.
Oh, Dennis again. He's trying to prod out towards these upper tunnels. And Exodus just saying, yeah, come to me. I'm waiting.
Better be careful though. That bomb is with him. The second player is going to join him. There's both Deagles out here. Farben spotted. They're going to line up for Exodus. And Farben's in trouble now. PRT there to support and get Naves back into position. Meanwhile, Mobs comes in with a flank and they've overwhelmed the B side.
Honestly, when you lose a clutch but do so much damage in that last round and then you win the follow-up, that's so big. So huge for the long-term game because Sprout, that completely destroys the money. That hurts so much more than winning that last one. And TeamOne, they do it in a round where, honestly, the rifles aren't even really that necessary.
It's the Deagles that did most of the damage, so credit to them. PRT and X&S cleaning out the tunnels and cleaning out the round. 12-8 now. They're on victory row here. Like, they are a few rounds away from taking this in a 2-0 fashion. And no one came into this series thinking it was going to be a 2-0 for TeamOne. We had it down as a 2-0 for Sprout, so credit where it's due because for all the hardships they've had in Europe, right now when they need to step up, they're doing it. Right here at IEM Cologne. slaxz gets an extra frag at least. Spiidi also follows suit onto X&S, so 12 to the board, TeamOne looking fantastic.
Yes, they're putting some very good chips in. Just even the Deagle play, X&S, the way that they just line up there. And for Malbs, he's just been able to clear out the B-bomb site. They go, right, we'll just sandwich in the last player. And again, to go on that point, 2 wins in 2021 out of 21 officials in Europe for TeamOne. And they could do it in 2 maps here up against Sprout today. On land!
What a way to eliminate the Meisterschaft champions. Remember, that's how Sprout got here to Cologne. slaxz watching with the AWP backed up here. Looks in, takes a shot on Mobs, kicks things off. Turning one of those good rifles into an effective kill for the Sprout side. Boosted back into the A site itself. Spiidi also going to hold the short control. They're expecting there to be a lot of A presence here for TeamOne, but they're all coming out from long.
Do they just commit with long, just get the cross smokes down to the site, just make it simple? Chuck away the AK, that's a decent chance there for TeamOne, just to make sure that, depending on what happens in the round, depending if we get pushed on, give up no way the CTs can recover that.
The Eagles holding. Looks down, slaxz looks away. Farben hears what's going on. Deagle back behind the short boxes, Molotov towards position, the AWP fires back. Farben still not burning here. It's actually not even got towards him. Spiidi comes up with 2 kills of his own right. Burst through on the AK. X&S finally trades back on 1. Little does he know that Farben's around here. He's going to deny it. Take his shot in. Kressy steals it. And Farben taps up as well. And Sprout, well, they have Deagles to play with and all. 2 AWPs, 2 AK saved.
Just a lack of information. And really for the T side, without that molly being able to spread to Farfen's position, they just think it's clear. Just think, okay, we'll get the bomb down. But Spiidi, you've got to give him a lot of credit. Ooh, how many kills he was able to get out from that short position.
Very nice spray transfer. Didn't even notice that. I thought it was a lineup. Tactical pause called in by TeamOne once again. Now they're the ones being a little bit more liberal with these tacticals. Sprout, in their early T side, were doing a similar sort of thing. Again, they used 3 in that half. Already 2 down for TeamOne. You mentioned before the economy game, how very shaky it's been these last few rounds. Well, now it's the Brazilians that are feeling that.
And that's just because we get to a bit of a position in which they lose a round that's very expensive to their opposition, they win it, and then they lose the follow-up to an eco. It just, you go back and forth in nature, and it ruins the money line here for TeamOne completely. You've got those AKs back in for a couple of players, upgraded pistols for the rest. We've seen this kind of a buy be successful, though.
Yeah, don't count TeamOne out of this one just yet. Smokes down towards the long house, of course, for the CT side. Will suppress them initially. AWP is slaxz watching from short. So he's the first, gets the kill in like Nesno. That's a hell of a start here for the CT side. Dropping one of those AKs immediately. Molds will pick it back up, though. And a second shot for slaxz. Catches him all the same. So, 5 on 3. Sprout look good again.
It's a lot of kill and retreating coming through from slaxz. Very difficult. TeamOne are finding of trading out this AWPer because anytime he just takes a pick, he's just always falling back to reposition, playing out to safety, and they just wide swing him. They're out of options at this point. They're trying everything to trade out this AWPer, and they just can't do it.
Yeah, every position that slaxz has gotten to, he's gotten a kill for it. First aggressive short, then passive short, then passive car. TeamOne have given up these individual fights and basically given up the round for it. Maluki tagged, PRT seen, kressy. I'm going to kill on the man just yet. The incendiary and flashes will definitely be there to support it though and try and suppress where TeamOne are coming from. Either way, this should be a round that goes the way of Sprout as slaxz gets his quadra involved. kressy will get picked up and it's ace time for slaxz. Indeed it is. 5 kills for him. Sprout back within 2.
Yeah, TeamOne just really filtering themselves up towards the AWPer. Good sequence coming in for slaxz, holding his ground and not really getting baited by any of those jiggle peaks either. Won't see much from an investment to follow on this eco, and for Sprout, they're closing the gap here with the deficit now.
Great trick from slaxz again to highlight how fantastic he was in this round. 5 bullets fired, 5 kills found. TeamOne now down to the basic keeper here. They forced the issue in that previous round, and Farben was his own piece of the pie in the AWP involved. Sees the mid-control bases coming in from the T side. Fast play up towards short, it seems. Maluki and PRT have dropped in turn, however, and the crossfire's locked for the CT side. They are ready for what's about to be thrown at them. Just basic pistols again. slaxz with a pick back. Doubles up. M4 finishes the round. And now it's a buy for TeamOne.
Yeah, Sprout just being able to get both of the AWPers a little bit more involved. We know that Farben does love double AWPing out on the city side here. Another tactical in for TeamOne. Just realizing maybe pressure's getting to them ever so slightly in the second half. They had a decent lead moving forward, converted a very good pistol round, but now getting into a situation where their lead could be equalized.
Very surprised how similar these maps have been so far in this series to where it goes. Has some, both A7 halves that favoured TeamOne. TeamOne then pulled away, then Sprout started bringing it back, and now they're within 1 of the lead again. And now an opportunity presents itself for Sprout to take the lead away from TeamOne for good. Can they win this map? Again, that is the main concern for them at the moment. It's about winning Dust2. This is their pick on the Sprout side. So TeamOne having everything to hold here. Buyback against these, no money in reserve for the T side. Plenty of money in reserve for Sprout thanks to how confident they've been so far. But Farben doesn't quite hit his shot here.
Oh, this is quick, really quick. They just want to wide swing out for the long position. XNS can't find anything, and that's the man advantage being gained.
Not a fan of how very awkward these sprays have been at certain points from TeamOne. Giving up the ghost quite a lot here. Incendiary's back. Maluki falls back at the AK. Knows that this player's right around the corner. Is he aware of slaxz and kressy though? Is he aware that AWP's in position? A flashbang in from Farben could allow them to peek together. I don't know if that's what he's going to set up. No, he's back at CT spawn.
Yeah, Maluki's just got to make sure that if he takes his contact, that he tries to isolate them. Oh, he might catch them off. This could be the timing. That's the first. As he swing onto the AWPer, just try and pull the distraction, help them get to the A side. Can't quite follow up though.
slaxz holds the man advantage as a result here. Util put back. CT's on rotate to get towards the short control and back up their big green gun. Shots out, completely blind and not scoped in. The plant will be secured. And actually they go for a 2-2 split in from long and short. Mobs still find Spiidi. slaxz involved with the AWP. They haven't accounted for the second CT from long though. They're flanking him bound. Dennis has got his kill and Pesadelo with it all to do. Spray on the first man. Evades the second. Looks back for the third. Refaces aggressive. This could be disastrous. He's seen slaxz. He still misses his shot. And Dennis closing in. So close to the ramp position. Pesadelo knows. Keeping his head ducked down. He's found the angle. 1 versus 1. AK with 9 bullets in the magazine. And closing in closely for slaxz. He gets his shot. And he just holds the round for Sprout.
Oh, it's another close one. Really close round coming in. And for Pesadelo, just trying to waste as much time onto the site as possible, isolating some really, really strong 1v1s, but not getting it over the line. And that clutch out from slaxz allows them to get 12-12.
Even Steven. TeamOne once again unable to get away with it. And now with the pistol buy coming in for the T side, this should be a lead for Sprout once again. This is their opportunity now to extend this to a map victory and stay alive in the best of 3 and the play-ins by extension. Farben looking down range here with the AWP, the incendiary also out for him. Suppressing initially on first contact. They don't know what TeamOne have got here, but they can get a decent idea.
Yeah, Pesadelo just going to be able to assist the best that he can with Util, but this is going to be ascending to the B side.
Smokes on towards the doors and towards the tunnels. The fast play is inbound. The Orpa are far. Going to have to get back behind the blue boxes. Dennis gets the kill into the first and a second. Burst who did damage towards Malbs. Blind fire. Farther actually connected to the collateral in that context. So Pesadello left in a 1 versus 5 with an Eagle in play. Caught off towards mid control. Spiidi secures it. And they're starting to look a little bit hype there on the Sprout cameras. So a lead gained at long last. Finally, their woes may be over them, but they've got to extend here.
And they're getting some good momentum now for Sprout. They're winning some of these rounds a little bit more confidently. slaxz is starting to really get the numbers up there. He's finding a bit more consistent impact with the AWP on the CT side. TeamOne, though, they can't afford to drop the ball. They've got to keep pressure on.
Smokes in, or caught off by Farven. Great start for him. Maluki dropping an M4. And let's look back to the back lines, nades the position. AK's watch and scopes in for PRT. It's downrange, hoping for contact for TeamOne out into the mid doors position. The AK's wrapping, slow walking their way forward.
Now, we've seen a lot of opening man advantages be won in these last handful of rounds for Sprout. This walkout for mid, though, could be quite clear.
Or blind firing, cannot quite seem to connect his shot over at the A site. XNS overwhelms Dennis, but he's got a few more CTs to deal with, and Mob scratches Farven, so now the B site's overwhelmed for good. I don't think Sprout go for this.
No, it's not worth it. They can look for extra kills, though. Look at how much money there is on this CT side. If you can do a little bit more damage, get some extra kills away, that could make it a little bit more difficult for TeamOne to buy going forward.
Didn't read Pesadello, but he is traded by slaxz at least, but that's something for the AWP. Have the extra util dropped by his teammate. Try and flash his way in. Is he going to indicate he's going to go for his thing? I mean, that would be a very bad idea. Again, they have got money, though, so how much are they willing to throw away? Quite a lot, considering how aggressive they're getting. Looking up, making a lot of noise here, trying to maybe just force them back into Kressy's position, try to funnel them back into the tunnels on the runaway. The shot out. slaxz falls to 29, flash forward. And here it is, AUG to get some exits, involved in the first player, and the second, and the Orp's going to get caught by the bomb, I think. Oh, we'll just escaped the car, actually, yes. TeamOne. Again, losing a lot of money here, this expensive round.
Yeah, that was a very good read there for Sprout to realize, okay, we're not going to win it, but look for extra kills. Let's make it expensive. Let's make it a little bit more difficult for the T side to buy back. TeamOne now using all of their tacticals, 13-13. Some really important entries coming through out to that B side. XNS in particular, just the jiggle peek out towards that close left-hand corner, just gave him the opportunity to wide swing out and just instantly find the connection.
Yeah, TeamOne know if they lose this round, it could be map point for Sprout, so tactical is pretty much required right here. What are they going to change up, though? What is going to be the adjustment? They, again, have a buy. It will be an awkward buy. Limited utility sets on mobs and XNS will sort of highlight that. Have at least got 4 AKs and an AWP, though.
And they've got a lot to work with. Sprout, though, can they just do one onto them and just reset? Just put them back, just that peg. Oh, try. They actually peeked without a smoke, or at least that smoke comes in later than it is.
Incendiary's on, smokes down, and standard util sets come in from the CT side out towards the long house position. AWP of Farven starts aggressing as Morbs is boosted up here in the lower tunnels. This could get real interesting. How much can Farven get? If he gets the kill, he could get bomb access. Sees his man. Nice timing on XNS. Kicks things off.
He's just got nades out, just waiting to put down some lurk utility. Pesadello needs to take a fight out towards CT, and now it's util caught in the hands of the CT side.
4 versus 4. Dennis flinging back, nade involved. Looking at a dodge here towards the mid position. TeamOne getting caught up on each other, but they are able to escape. Flashes over, smokes back down. Pesadello and Morbs pressing forwards here, starting to spool up. The AWP involved for slaxz, gets his kill. Looking for another one, refacing to elbow, and sees the elbow of Morbs. Connects that shot for it. 2 more out towards short, and slaxz is looking in for a little bit more. Can he get another massive quadra round for him? Well, Flash is involved, will force him back for the moment. He'll get back into position, see the head at PRT, and Maluki left with it all to do. Can't hit his shot. Farven steals it. It's a big 14th for Sprout.
And they know that the AWP from slaxz has constantly been playing out from that card position, and you can't afford to go in dry like that. You've got to have the cross smokes, you've got to have the flashes to force him off angle, and the flashes, they came in too late after a couple of players had already fallen by the T's.
A rebuy coming in for TeamOne here into round 28. Look at the buy down, however. Look at the money line. 2 AKs, 2 Deagles, a Mac 10. got to come out with some sheer Brazilian aggression and style, and looks like it will be fast as well. Pesadilla with a Mac 10 flashed around the corner. Here he comes, point blank against one player. Spiidi catches off that one frag. Pesadilla kind of just against him, but kressy is going to find a secondary kill and a tertiary one, looking for a triple of his own right, and they just get cleaned up in long.
Yeah, kressy just in better positioning than the T side were. Even a little bit of aggression coming out for the Longhouse. XNS. This position is just, it's so unwinnable. 1v4 just peeks into the AWP room for Sprout. Now they get up to map point. Now they've got the opportunity of taking us to a third.
I think we might be going to that third. I think map 3 is on the table here, Dweg. Map point for Sprout. And this one has gone the distance. The thing as well, we had it written off from the start. We were just like, yeah, Sprout, easy 2-0. Nope, not at all. TeamOne definitely have brought out the big guns here for Cologne. They have had their struggles in previous European tournaments. We know that they lost the series a little bit earlier on today as well, Dweg, so wasn't a lot of momentum coming into this matchup, but momentum might mean nothing at all. It might still go against them here on Dust2, however, Sprout look to turn their woes around, weather the storm. Look at that 16-13 with a crossfire locked here in long. kressy and Spiidi again with easy pickings for them. Mulluki with a scout, 1 versus 5. He'll peek in. And he does get a good shot on Spiidi, but surely after this he should die.
They've seen some really good long sequences out from the CT side in this second half, and Mulluki has just got everything to do. A lot of pressure coming into him from just over-aggression from Sprout, but it's these long campaigns and the multi-frags that are just winning so many of these rounds, and it's going to get them over the line.
Yeah, an impossible 1v4 for Mulluki. He's already got an A frag in this, but so much more to do with a scout. Maybe if he had an AWP, maybe if he had an AK, maybe if he had a bit more HP, you could give him a bit more credit, but in this one, it looks like it's too far gone to this one. Sprout have done amazingly in this latter part of the game to bring back the lead that TeamOne had established so early here. Mulluki, he's going to give it the old college try, but 40 seconds to the clock, and he's working in towards mid.
Yeah, he's going to have to face off against the AWP. Farfen, eyes locked down towards his mid position. Mulluki needs to be able to fire quick to the trigger, and it's not going to happen. 16-13 Sprout take their map pick of Dust2, take us to a third of Mirage, and really, Jay, the late section of that second half was when they really came alive.
Yeah, what's a comeback from them? Fantastic stuff for Sprout, and indeed we do head to that third map, a full 3-game series to start off here on the B stream. Don't go anywhere.